Hey everyone, KnitKnat here. Today I'm coming at you with another Marvel's Avengers video telling you my 1-second predictions for the Marvel's Avengers game coming out September 2020. First of all, this is going to be a video without any spoilers. I haven't really looked at the achievements list, which right now is our biggest source of spoilers. So first I'm going to start off with skins that I want for the game. First, Superior Iron Man. It's a very popular one. And because of this, I think it's almost destined to be in the game. Next, for Black Widow, probably her white suit, the one that we see in the movies trailer. It's just a very popular one. I think it's pretty likely. What do you think? Also, probably the very first Black Widow suit when we see her in the comics for like origins and stuff. It's pretty possible too. She's like wearing some lace or whatever. It's just really weird. They tried to make her way over sexual in the 60s. Next, for Miss Marvel, in like 2018, I think it is, or 2017, she got a new look. You can look it up, but it looks really cool. There's like some more metal on it, I don't know. But similar to the Stark suit, but not entirely. For Captain America, his classic suit with the white wings on the sides, that's pretty cool, and it's probably gonna be in the game. Also, more like a modern Thor. I want a Thor outfit where there's the classic set, the classic skin set. It's like that with the helmet, but it looks more like our modern Thor that we have here in the game. First, I want casual outfits for all Avengers. Every Avenger that's going to be in the game, I want a casual outfit for them. That's kind of likely. And for Bruce Banner and Iron Man, I want for Bruce Banner and Tony Stark, not their superhero versions, I want their costumes to change with their superhero versions. So if I'm assuming that you can transform from Bruce to Hulk really quickly or Tony to Iron Man, I want like for the original Sin or the Obsidian Pack, I want Tony Stark's costume to be darker, but I don't know like how likely that is. Also, a big one that we've seen is Captain America's shield does not change with his costume, but I think it really should for the game to be as good as they're promising. Just there's emotes in this game. I don't really care for emotes too much, but I think a good emote that should probably be in the game that we haven't seen yet is a salute from Captain America. It'd just be pretty cool to do, and it fits his character well. Next, microtransactions. I've talked about them in a few of the videos. They are confirmed for the game from ERSB and the game itself. I think the MCU skins would be really good as microtransactions. I'd probably buy a few. Looks really cool. Of course, we wouldn't have like the actual actors' faces, but still, I'd probably buy them. Next, I was just thinking for some gadgets for Black Widow. Maybe like a grenade or something. I love playing with grenades in video games because we know she'll have like the twin pistols and maybe a machine gun. We'll see. For new characters, okay, so for this free DLC that I'm going to keep talking about that this game has, the characters, the regions, whatever, if they come in those little packs as characters and regions, I think we're going to get somewhere from 2 to 4 characters a year. Now, I could be completely off, but basically, that's probably just as much as the developers can really work on this game, adding different play styles, gear, war zones, outfits, nameplates, emotes for each one of those. The hard work is really appreciated. I say at least one web slinger, whether it be Spider-Woman, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Gwen, whatever, I want a web slinger. And that's probably possible. And if they do Peter Parker, it's going to be a different version of Spider-Man PS4. A web slinger would be really fun. We don't know how well he would fit into some of these environments, but for villains in this game, we know there's AIM, and a villain commonly associated with AIM is MODOK, so we'll see where that takes us. I'm not sure, but he could definitely be a big bad in this game. That's probably most possible, is what I'm thinking. We've seen like the AIM robots. We could have the Adaptoids, because they are frequently associated with AIM, and the Super Adaptoid, which could be a Warzone mission, which would be really fun. If we think about there's the Dreadbot, there could be a super adaptoid for us all to fight who would adapt to the Avengers play styles and whatever. Now we know there's a storyline that involves the Inhumans because Kamal says they think they're monsters. They're trying to make a so-called cure. This makes me think of the Kree because in the comics, the Kree are very associated with the Inhumans. They made the Inhuman race with Terrigens. And in the comics, that's how the Inhumans were made. So they could definitely be here. We could fight the Kree. That's very possible, looking at comics, of course. And then with Kree, a very popular alien race associated with them is the Skrull. which I think could be fun mixing it up a bit. We already know the MCU is kind of delving into that, so I'm not sure how likely that is. Maybe it's super likely. We'll see. And then with the Inhumans, the royal family like Black Bolt, Medusa, and Lockjaw. How likely are they going to be in the game? Would that be a different storyline? Are they just associated with the Inhuman race but not going to be in the game because they're not Avengers? We don't know. Would they be just like NPCs, name drops, or stuff? Another big thing is I cannot express to you how much I think there's going to be so many organizations, heroes, villains, they're just name dropped, or as NPCs in this game. There's probably just going to be so much. Now, actually, if you look closely at a few of these shots, even in the Avengers gameplay trailer on Taskmaster's truck, we can see Roxxon. So just popular organization with lots of villains associated with it. We can talk about it a little bit later, but with these thoughts on NPCs, Nick Fury is confirmed in the game. One of the Avengers mentions him through the dialogue in the A-Day trailer. If you go back to it, I think it's around the Hulk spot, someone mentions Fury. Fury doesn't talk, but they're all talking over the comms and they mention Fury. This makes me think that Hale, Maria Hale is in this game too. Maybe hopefully Coulson, but they won't be playable, but maybe they'll give us missions. They're probably going to be NPCs. I'm super excited. Next, I'd like to talk about characters or playable characters in the game. We already know there are 6 playable characters at launch. I've said this a lot of times. But we also know Hank Pym is in the game. As far as we know, he's not playable, but he leads the resistance against AIM. There's an anthill in this game as a outpost. We don't know what they are yet, but we know that some things called anthill. So at least he's working with ants. Probably confirms that he is Ant-Man. We'll see. We even know Agent Garza, who gives us a mission, a Warzone mission. She has powers. We can't play as her, but she never was an Avenger. It doesn't matter. Hank Pym, of course, is in the game, and there's a Pym Particles trailer. So you know that Pym Particles exist. We see Hank and his shrink ray, his shrink gun, possible things that could have happened to him. Maybe he retired. Did someone steal his suit? Did AIM take it away? Maybe is he playable a little bit after launch? Is someone like Scott Lang or maybe even Eric O'Grady, other Ant-Man's playable, but maybe, example, maybe someone stole his suit and we have to get it back for him. Maybe the person that stole his suit is Scott Lang or something like that. Because that stuff has happened in comics before. And in the MCU, we don't know, we're unsure, but it'll be really exciting and fun no matter what. Next, Hawkeye. There was a Bill Roseman tweet right after E3. Bill Roseman is the vice president of Marvel Games. He said, Hawkeye fans, don't worry. But that's really all he said. He never said that Hawkeye is going to be in the game word for word, but that's pretty much confirmed. Now, in the comics, he was a thief first before he joined the Avengers, like a criminal. Is this going to be in this game storyline? We don't know. Does he get taken by AIM? There's tons of possibilities. Also, he was mentioned in the prequel comics, and with him creates the MCU roster here. So, will he be playable? Maybe later. I think he's 100% in this game's universe, but definitely not playable at launch. We don't know if he's an NPC, whatever. Also, with Ant-Man, is Wasp also in this universe? She probably is, because they frequently associate with each other. Next, probable to be in the game, Captain Marvel, because the game said that's Kamala Khan's favorite Avenger. We know she exists in the game's universe. She's not here. Kamala Khan was wearing Carol Danvers' Miss Marvel shirt, Captain Marvel badge. She's half Kree, and the Kree created the Inhumans in the comics and probably here too. There's also, if you look at the end of the A-Day trailer, a big purple thing. I've heard lots of theories, and my guess is what these people are saying. It's probably a Kree sentry because comics, Kree created the Inhuman. Maybe they'll be in here somehow. Except we know that Bruce Banner and other people did help work create the Terrigen Crystal Reactor, and that's what made the Inhumans here. But there could be other sources of Inhumans because not all Inhumans had to come from that A-Day event because there weren't probably a ton of people there. Next, I think he's just a very popular one, and a Black Panther is probably going to be in the game eventually, sometime after launch. T'Chaka, whatever, T'Challa, whomever. It would do well with a Wakanda region because we know that regions and heroes are going to be added as free DLC to the game. Now, let's just talk about other characters that are probably likely, but don't have as high chances as the ones I've already named, at least, to be added immediately after launch. Vision, popular Avenger, Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, Doctor Strange, and more. Here's some other ideas that I have that I just would like in the game as well as those. Falcon, different playstyle. We know that the Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, they are going to have each Avenger, they said, will have a different play style. Each Avenger will play differently. So with this, we can say we probably won't have Pepper Potts as Rescue. We probably won't have War Machine and any other versions of Iron Man, any other people that would play similarly to these people, like Beta Ray Bill, like Mr. Fantastic, etc., etc. Could we, though, have Ironheart or War Machine as reskins? I'm not sure, but it's possible. Next, let's talk about villains for the game. We know that Taskmaster and Abomination will be villains we can face as probably boss battles in the game. We know AIM is a big bad for the game. We'll be facing against AIM bots, Dread bots, AIM workers, etc. But what other villains could we face, and what are some Warzone hero level villains we could face? First off, just some ideas. Things that come from the prequel comics could definitely be villains. So Loki was in the prequel comics. Zax, a Hulk villain, was in the comics. He's made out of pure energy. The Lethal Legion, consisting of Whirlwind, Absorbing Man, Titania, Beetle, they could all be in there, either separately or together. Now, for more of these villains that could really be in the war zones, I think it's really good to look back at some of the Avengers' first foes. So we have the Space Phantom, the Lava Men, which probably are like a species, the Mole Man, Baron Zemo, and then his Masters of Evil and Kang. Kang is pretty much a global threat, so he probably will not be in the game. That's my guess. But for the Masters of Evil, to look at some other thugs we could be facing, there's Baron Zemo, Melter, Radioactive Man, Black Knight, Executioner, and Enchantress. So I'm going to mention Enchantress later on in the video. Supports her being in the game if they face the Masters of Evil at some point, either together or apart in a war zone. Now, some of the latest members include Whiplash, we see him in Iron Man 2, Wrecker, Mankiller, Thunderball, Claw, Bulldozer, Piledriver, and Tiger Shark. Now, a lot of those people I mentioned, I've also mentioned the Wrecking Crew in this video. A lot of those people are in the Wrecking Crew, so that's just something to look forward to. Batroc the Leaper, that's all the ones that were in the prequel comics. But along with that, we could have Hela. That'd be cool. The Zodiac is mentioned to be in the Marvel's Avengers tie-in novel, so they could be there. That'd be really fun to play. Arnim Zola, or Baron Helmet Zemo, Crossbones, the Winter Soldier. Captain America villains would be pretty easy to fight as, like, Avengers. The Red Skull, Enchantress, maybe even Hawkeye, because he was a criminal before. The Super Adaptoid, I mentioned that. Brother Voodoo, he and Doctor Strange used to be mentioned in the synopsis for the Extinction Key Avengers novel. They're not in there anymore. Either that would be a spoiler for the game, or they just decided to change the plot entirely. I'm pretty sure I know which one it probably is. There is gonna be no game universe, so at least confirmed by the Marvel's Avengers people, unless they're trying to hide something big, which could be, but they're building their own universe, creating their own universe. So probably not. Here's my now predictions for the plot of the game. I think the order for reassembling the Avengers, we know it's going to be reassembling the Avengers is going to be a big plot point in the game. We know we get Kamala Khan first because she's the one reassembling them. We see her and Bruce Banner together at the end of her trailer, so I'm guessing we get her and Bruce Banner next. Bruce Banner has been seen to be arguing with Tony Stark about something, even in front of Kamala Khan. So my guess is he's next. And then the game overview trailer, we see Bruce Banner and Tony Stark and Natasha in the same scene. So my guess is we get Black Widow next. And then Captain America, he's the one that died, so he's probably going to be a major plot point. We'll probably get him last. That puts Thor after Black Widow. In the war table, it mentions Operation Reassemble. That's probably going to be I've heard of acts for the game. If they are divided into acts, that Operation Reassemble will be first. Then maybe we'll fight AIM or that big Kree sentry if that's a major villain. We'll see. Campaign time has been confirmed to be 10 to 12 hours. I forget which one it is, but that's just a campaign. The war zones will make the story go much longer, and I'm super excited for that. There is some other of my hopes and wants for this game. I've seen the Obsidian reskins. They are just like there's some skins like the classic skins or like the original Sin or the secret Empire skin for Captain America, where they're not really reskins, they're just new skins. But if we do have reskins, I want to have the ability to recolor them like in Injustice 2, where you can unlock different color palettes or whatever. That'd be really cool just to make Obsidian be maybe green and yellow, for example, which we could use for Hydra skins, reskins. That'd be really cool. Now we see the Chimera is a base of operations. We learned that in the overview trailer. I want to be able to explore it like a lot. I want it to be a big ship. I can walk around, do different things in it besides just the war table. In a lot of interviews, the game developers have mentioned that we can go beyond Earth. We have seen Iron Man in space in the Halo trailer. Is it just going to be the space level? Can we go to Asgard? I hope so. Maybe that'll even be in the campaign. Now, Captain Marvel could be in the game. If she is, could we go to Hala? That's like the Kree planet. Just a space station, would that be a region? Or just space? Could we free roam in space as Captain Marvel or Iron Man or whomever? Some of my wants, hopes for the games. DLC. Free DLC as updates is coming to the game, containing characters and regions. Now, from a business standpoint, it's most logical to combine regions with characters. So the first thing that ever came to my mind when this was first announced is Black Panther. Wakanda is a very popular region. It looks so cool, and it just would work so well. And I mentioned the Captain Marvel, the places where she could go with that. There's also been confirmed an underwater region. Could it be Lemuria, Atlantis, or just regular underwater? We'll see. I'm super excited for that. Also, if we have Atlantis in the game, and that's a region we can explore, I would love to have a war zone with the Avengers facing off against Atuma. Now, it's also confirmed that there will be some lesser known characters in the game, or at least that they're trying to include lots of characters from Marvel history, and are probably not just going to receive, and they're making their own stories, so they're probably not just going to receive just popular MCU ones, they're going to receive other ones too, because we got Kamala Khan, she wasn't in the MCU yet when they announced her. So something that really got me thinking was maybe Power Man. He isn't in the MCU, he is lesser known, but he is a key figure of the Avengers in the comics, etc. And he is actually really cool. I think one thing that would be kind of weird for them to put into the game is that he is a bit immortal because of his powers. So how does he die? I don't know, but that'd be cool. Playing an invulnerable character. And now I'm just going to finish off this video with my plan, with my hopes for the marketing. We are supposed to get some new stuff, even if it's about the accessibility for the game, this week. So whether it be Tuesday, the day this is published, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, keep a lookout for that. Of course, my hope is they don't spoil any part of the story. I want to go into this game not getting spoiled about the story too much. I really hope they give us, if you guys have seen the State of Tsushima State of Play that PlayStation just did, I really want that for the game. Remember, they don't really spoil a lot of the story, but they tell us a lot about the gameplay features. For example, Warzone missions, how they work, because they told us about them, but we didn't really get a good chance to see any of them. We saw a hero mission, like A-Day, so we know how that works, and we also really need to know how skills work, leveling yourself up works, and how gear works, how you can customize that to fit your playstyle, and how you can rank up, etc. We don't know a lot about that kind of stuff. What are your thoughts on this? What do you really want in the game? What do you think is going to happen to the game? What do you want for the marketing? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Give a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Like it, subscribe for more content, join the discussion on r/Marvel Avengers the game. I hope you all really enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. See ya!